In 2012, a tragedy unfolded inside a Bumblebee Foods processing facility in Santa Fe Springs, California. That would forever change how the company and the broader food industry approached worker safety. Jose Milena, a 62-year-old maintenance worker with over 2 decades of experience at the plant, lost his life in one of the most horrifying industrial accidents in recent memory. He was placed inside a massive industrial oven, used to cook canned tuna, and the oven was unknowingly turned on with him still inside. By the time co-workers realized what had happened, it was too late. Milena had been cooked alive along with approximately 12,000 pounds of tuna. The incident sent shockwaves through the food processing industry and triggered a series of legal, regulatory, and ethical consequences that would take years to fully unfold. On the morning of October 11, 2012, Jose Milena had gone inside one of the large industrial retort ovens to perform routine maintenance work. These ovens are enormous pressure cookers, large enough to fit a person, and are used to sterilize and cook canned tuna at extremely high temperatures. Before beginning a production run, workers are supposed to follow strict lockout and tag-out safety procedures, which are designed to ensure that all energy sources are isolated and that no one is inside the equipment before it is activated. However, on that day, those critical safety protocols were not followed. A co-worker assumed Milena had gone to the bathroom and loaded the oven with cans of tuna. The oven was then sealed and turned on. When Milena failed to appear later, a search began, and his remains were eventually discovered inside the oven. The failure to verify that the equipment was clear of personnel before operation was a catastrophic breakdown in workplace safety procedures. The aftermath of Jose Milena's death led to serious legal consequences for Bumblebee Foods and several individuals connected to the incident. The California Division of Occupational Safety and Health, commonly known as Cal Occupational Safety and Health Administration, launched an investigation and cited the company for multiple serious safety violations. In 2015, criminal charges were filed, marking a rare instance where a corporation and its managers faced criminal prosecution for a workplace death. Bumblebee Foods was charged with 3 felony counts of willfully violating occupational safety and health standards. The company's safety manager and a plant supervisor were also individually charged. In 2016, Bumblebee Foods pleaded no contest to the charges and was ordered to pay approximately $6 million in fines and penalties, which was one of the largest penalties ever imposed in a California workplace death case. The plant supervisor and safety manager also faced their own legal proceedings, with the safety manager eventually pleading no contest and receiving probation along with community service. The death of Jose Milena became a landmark case in discussions about industrial worker safety, particularly around lockout and tag-out procedures. These procedures exist specifically to prevent workers from being injured or killed by the unexpected energization or startup of machinery. The case highlighted how even well-established companies can develop a culture where safety shortcuts become normalized over time, often with devastating consequences. Regulatory agencies across the United States used this case as a reference point to reinforce the importance of strict compliance with energy control programs. Worker advocacy groups pointed to Milena's death as evidence that criminal accountability for corporate negligence must be taken more seriously. The case demonstrated that fines alone are often insufficient deterrents, and that holding individuals and corporations criminally responsible sends a far stronger message to industries where worker safety is at risk. Jose Milena's death was not just a workplace accident. It was the result of systemic failures, ignored protocols, and a corporate environment that did not prioritize the lives of its workers adequately. His family filed a civil lawsuit and reached a settlement with Bumblebee Foods. While no financial compensation can replace a human life, the legal and regulatory outcomes of this case have contributed to meaningful conversations about how companies must treat worker safety as an absolute, non-negotiable priority. Milena's story remains a sobering reminder that behind every industrial process, there are real human beings whose lives depend on the integrity of safety systems and the accountability of those who manage them.